Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel. In this video we are off to Bruges. This is the fifth and final video in our series where we explore Europe for the first time in our campervan Woody. In our last video it was Aidy's birthday. We set ourselves the side quest to have 3 meals in 3 different countries in just one day. We finished the day in Liège, spending the night on a barge, sleeping in the captain's quarters and even finding a fun fair. You find us in this video waking up on the River Meuse, enjoying a very restful night on the barge as it very gently rocked us to sleep. Having the night with some room to stretch out also sometimes is just a really good feeling. You can catch up on the story so far in our previous video linked here. If you're enjoying our journey, please do like the video and subscribe to our channel. We're still finding our way in the world of YouTube and making content, so we'd love your feedback. Seeing people follow our journey is an amazing feeling and we're really enjoying the process. We hope you enjoy the journey too. So, it's the last leg of our holiday. We both had a great night's sleep in the boat and after a little bit of travel planning in the morning, it was time to hit the road. It was another chunk of driving today and the weather was a bit pants if I'm honest with you, but the sun did finally come out around an hour before we got to our campsite. So the journey in total took around 2 hours before we hit Bruges. I did struggle to find many overnight campsites near Bruges, with just one motorhome overnight spot, but without any toilets kind of quite close by. So we decided in the end on a campsite that was around a 10-minute drive from the centre. Not too far away, loads of good facilities, and we knew that we could either get public transport in or perhaps a taxi that would get us there and back. So really pretty good option. It was a quite busy campsite, I'd say, so obviously we weren't the only people with that thought. The campsite did have some really good facilities, probably some of the best of the trip, I'd say. And I loved that everything was automated. So you got there, you checked yourself in, you checked yourself out, and you could easily add on additional nights on the computer inside. There was a coffee machine in there. They had facilities obviously to do like things like your washing as well, really nice showers and toilets, all the stuff we're kind of after. So you can see our little spot here. It was a really nice setup. I absolutely loved this camper van next to us. How lush does that look? And then this was the inside. So yeah, really nice clean facilities, tourist information there as well. And then this is just the machine that you used that you could just get everything sorted. Cut to Bruges where we hopped into a taxi and after a quick stroll ended up at 2B, a pub Aidy had been really eager to try right by the river. Now Aidy may have indulged a little bit too much in some very strong Belgian beer here that did lead us to really requiring a Chinese pretty quickly. But really lovely spot. We lucked out with where we were sitting. Had some really tasty beers. I had something delivered to me in a coconut at one point. From memory, it was pretty good, but coconut beer is a bit like, you know, your car air freshener in your beer. We just got a peanut in Aidy's mouth, so we're going to attempt it on camera. No, it's never going to happen. Okay, 1, 2, 3. I'm a genius. Can I do 3? 3 are in a row. Never in a million years. Oh, damn it. Yeah, secondsies. 2 in a row though. Here we are pointing towards carbohydrates that were much needed, as you might be able to tell from that point. This Chinese had really lovely food, I promise it's not just the beer talking, and loads of veggie options for me as well. So we were definitely a thumbs up there, very happy. Obviously had some wine with it too. And then it was a little walk around really, which was really beautiful to see Bruges at night time, to be honest. It's lit up really lovely, bit of fresh air probably didn't do us any harm either. But yeah, really nice just to have that final kind of little walk around before we got back to the campsite, got ourselves tucked up for the night and had a good night's sleep. So if Our last day in Bruges, and we've been here before a couple of times, so we want to do something a bit different this time. So we did a boat tour last time, is that right? And we've done a bus tour as well. So I found this app that is called Questo, I believe, and they have loads of different sort of games and different activities to do on it, and they have one for Bruges. So it's called Enchanting Bruges Highlights, and hopefully you can kind of see as you go onto it. It shows you other places that you can sort of play different games and different things that you can do. But for this one, if I click on it, so it's something I'd already pre-ordered, and it tells you a little bit about what you're going to be doing. We are at the starting point, so wherever this is where we are. So we should be able to press play, and there we go. Let's go. So yeah, it's time to start playing our game. We'll check in when we find somewhere and see if we manage to get our way around. So these dudes asked us a question. No, they gave us a riddle. And it's the first one we actually worked out. So through the app, you really walk your way around the city. It will ask you lots of questions, and you get to know places in a different way. So coming up, one of the spots we hadn't been to before was a shop called the Chocolate Line. This was a really popular chocolate shop in Bruges. I mean, obviously there's a lot of chocolate shops in Bruges, but really interesting one to go to. I really would recommend this one, and the chocolate honestly was to die for. We got all of our presents from here. I shouldn't say to die for, and then there's Chucky, but you get the idea. So I'm filming a closed place because it's my favourite, and we came here a few years ago, and honest to God, we talk about this soup and panini far too much for what it was, but if you get a chance to come here, you have to. Aidy, how good was the soup here?
It's the best soup we've ever had.
Best soup we've ever had. But it's closed on a Wednesday, and we're both very sad about it. I'm going to have to eat a lot of carbohydrates to make up for it. And Tuesdays, yeah, generally speaking, the 2 days we're here, this place is shut. And we've been before, and honestly, it was lush. I did find this old photo from our previous visit. I mean, look at it. So good. So within Questo, it tells you how many places you will visit on your quest. And this particular one has 15 spots. So some of them we had been to before around Bruges, and some were completely new to us. It was a really beautiful way actually to work your way around the canals and see a lot of the medieval buildings around Bruges. It's such a beautiful city, as you can see. If you've ever been before, you'll know, but if you ever get the opportunity to, it's somewhere you could definitely spend a couple of days just exploring the sights. The nice thing about the app, I think, as well, is it will give you the total distance that you will walk on average, sort of going to those 15 different spots, and roughly speaking how long it will take you. This one did say it would take about 75 minutes. I can't remember quite how long it was for us, but it was definitely more, because you're going to want to stop off and have a little look, and obviously in certain places we spent a bit more time or maybe went into a few shops and things. But it's a really nice way to see a city. I think it's a really nice way when you don't know somewhere and you really don't know where to start at all. I think it would also be quite a nice thing to do if you're travelling on your own. And just like that, we were at the end of our Questo tour. So it was a really nice way to see the city, as I've said. Bruges really is beautiful. I don't know what it is about it, but it's just very welcoming, very warm, and just delicious food and a beautiful place to be. So definitely worth a visit. This tour was really nice because we did actually see parts of it that we haven't seen before, and it's just truly beautiful. So we loved our stay there. We'll definitely go back to Bruges. We've been a few times now before, but first time driving there and knowing now how easy it is, it's definitely got to be one we do again. So we were sorry to say goodbye, but we finished off our tour. Pretty sure there was probably more beer involved, but my brain's a bit foggy on that one. And I think we might have got a taxi back to the campsite again. So one more night at the campsite to rest up before a pretty long day of travelling the next day. So I was pretty pleased that we had a nice, quiet, comfortable campsite to get to. But for now, bye-bye Bruges. As you can see, it was a very early start that day. We had to get all the way back home, so we wanted to start off as early as we could and stop over a few places just to kind of keep us going. So the main stop for today was going to be to Ypres. Ypres is around an hour or so from Bruges. We have been once before, I think, so it's kind of a good stopover, and it's just really rich in history. So a really interesting place to visit. Ypres is a small town in the Belgian province of West Flanders. It is surrounded by battlefields, so that's where you'll find lots of cemeteries, memorials, and war museums honouring the battles that unfolded in this area, predominantly in World War I. After being destroyed in that war, many important buildings were carefully reconstructed, including the St Martin's Cathedral that has this beautiful soaring spire right in the centre of town. One of the things that Ypres is probably most well known for is the last post. So coming up here you can actually see the Menin Gate Memorial, which is where it would typically take place. Following the opening of the Menin Gate Memorial in 1927, the citizens of Ypres wanted to express their gratitude towards those who had given their lives for Belgium's freedom. That is why every single day at 8 p.m. they have a procession called the Last Post, where the road is closed underneath the memorial and they sound the last post with a bugle. At the moment, as I said, the gates are closed, the memorial gates, but there is still the last post taking place at the top of the kind of park area. The last post was a bugle call played in the British Army to mark the end of the day's labours and the onset of the night's rest. In the context of the last post ceremony, it has come to represent a final farewell to the fallen at the end of their earthly labours and onto the onset of their eternal rest. So, unfortunately, it was quite a wet day while we were there, but they are the most beautiful walks that you can do from the top of that memorial. So at the moment they've got some temporary steps that take you up. You'll come across the varying memorials and cemeteries to a lot of the fallen soldiers in that area. So you can see, we obviously look a little bit soggy, but it's a very sombre place, but still somewhere that you feel has lots of reflection. There's a reason that they do it. They feel very strongly about it, and I think it's something important. If you have the opportunity to go and visit, and just kind of soak it in, learning a little bit more about that time in history, and just reflecting on it. And with that, we set off for the final part of our journey, driving the hour down to Calais to make our way onto the Eurotunnel and on our way back home. We thought it'd be interesting to take a ferry over and then the tunnel back, just to get an idea about which we prefer. We decided much of this would come down to where you want to travel to. If, like us, you want to head towards Holland, then the ferry is perfect. We also enjoyed the experience of sleeping in the cabin overnight and then setting off the first thing in the morning, ready to go. The tunnel was a really quick process, and we were really fortunate that we came across no issues at all. Once we were parked up, we popped something on the tablet to watch, and before you know it, you're back in the UK. And with that, we conclude our European road trip. Thanks for joining us on this incredible journey. We really enjoyed filming it, and now we know what it's like to take Woody, our camper van, over to Europe. We hope to do it again soon. If you have any questions at all about any part of our adventure, pop it in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stick around for more exciting travels ahead.